make us proud.
Next up, Russ and I are going to talk about the movie that changed my life, Top Gun Maverick.
Make sure you subscribe to our page. We bring you the greatest content available for all physical media news.
One of the best movies of the year, if not our lifetimes, if not the movie that saved.
Avatar 2 hasn't come out yet, Matt.
I know.
This has finally been released. It's now here. It's arrived in a regular edition, a Steelbook edition. Even Walmart's got like a lenticular Steelbook edition and a 2-pack that you can get with the first. Now, I went with the Steelbook. Although it was initially delayed, it finally did show up on time, and I'm really happy that it's the Steelbook that I got. We can marvel at the disc that's going to save physical media, just like Tom saved theaters.
Exactly.
He's now going to save physical media.
That's right.
I like the art. The shot of him in the jet, I think, is really cool. It's a very shiny Steelbook. I think it's really glossy looking.
Mr. Maverick.
So we got the Maverick. Here it is. And on the inside, or on the back, we have him taken off. It's really nice colors. I really like it.
Yeah, it really is.
On the inside, we've got the disc. We got Tom on the motorcycle, one of my favorite scenes of the movie. Overall, high quality. I can't recommend this movie or this release enough, which there have been a lot of reviews on the picture quality and the audio and all that kind of stuff, which we're definitely going to dive into, but I do want to talk about the movie itself first. I saw this movie in the theater. Russ, you saw this at home, am I right?
Yes.
So you saw it at home. I saw it in the theater. And just in case people don't know information about one of the, if not the biggest movies of all time. This is a 2022 film directed by a man named Joseph Kosinski. Mm-hmm. And this is a sequel to the 1986 original, which was directed by Tony Scott. Now, Kosinski also previously directed Tron Legacy, which was another sequel from 28 years in its past. Yeah. And then also a movie called Oblivion that's got Tom Cruise in it, as well as Spiderhead for Netflix.
Great film.
Which friggin' looked like a complete piece of crap.
What's that supposed to mean?
Having worked with Tom Cruise previously, he spoke with him, at some point when Tom Cruise was doing like Mission Impossible, the two kind of got together. He kind of had this big passion for this movie as well, pitched some ideas to Tom. They end up linking up. Now it stars Tom Cruise, Jennifer Connelly, John Hamm, Miles Teller, and Val Kilmer.
And Ed Harris.
Don't forget Ed mother effing Harris.
I love Ed Harris.
Dude, whenever he shows up, it's always quality. And in case anyone doesn't know the plot of this groundbreaking, trailblazing movie, Maverick confronts his past while training new Top Gun graduates, including the son of his deceased friend Goose, for a dangerous mission.
And that mission is to fight the enemy.
You got yourself a deal, gentlemen.
Critics, fans, everyone adored this movie. They praised Cruise. They praised the aviation sequences, making it the highest grossing film of 2022 and Tom's film career. Tom Cruise did not want to do a sequel to Top Gun. He was like interviewed back in the 80s. He was like, I'm not even interested in that. But he became, I guess, more open to the idea in the more like 2010 area after he started kind of like, shooting off into stuntman realm, as you'd like to call it. Tony Scott actually came to Tom Cruise, pitched the ideas to him. They started working on it. Tony Scott actually wrote a script, started scouting stuff, and then obviously when he died, committed suicide, the project just went into limbo. Joseph Kosinski, they kind of meet up. Finally, in 2017, once he's kind of an integral part of the directing piece and they've got all these screenwriters working on a script, things finally started to like gel, and this movie started to really kind of pick up steam as far as getting made. Tom Cruise was very adamant that Val Kilmer be included, which I think, again, is a classy move. And then maybe not so classy move, they dumped Kelly McGillis.
I don't know what the hell went wrong.
They didn't even reach out to me, and I kind of understand why. I'm like an old woman now, and
think about that for a second.
Yeah,
we're not going to reach out to a woman because she is aged, but we're going to bring back a man with throat cancer.
That's right.
They need to give Tom Cruise a love interest. They need someone that he can feasibly fall in love with, and I guess it's not going to be Kelly McGillis. I don't know what she looks like now, no offense, but Jennifer Connelly looking good. Tom Cruise and her, good match. Val Kilmer's got to be back.
He was a good man.
Still is a good man.
Even Meg Ryan, no call.
We can't bring Meg Ryan? I like Meg Ryan.
We could have. They could have done anything they wanted to do. This is freaking Maverick. They didn't want to. This movie needs to fire on all cylinders, and they needed Jennifer Connelly to bring it back.
Okay.
I went into this film with low expectations. I'm not a fan really at all of the original. I will admit, as soon as it started with that boom, you know what I mean? And, and then Danger Zone kicks in.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, dude, I'm a man with like dead Kennedys tattooed on me. But even I was sitting there like, yeah, fuck yeah. And it wasn't even a nostalgia for the original film itself, because I've only seen it once as a child and I didn't like it as a kid. What I think I was nostalgic for was just that style.
That feeling.
It wasn't sad. It wasn't mopey. It wasn't cringy. It wasn't virtue signaling. It was just so straightforward. Yeah. It was just like, wow, I forgot this is, we used to get these all the time. Every week a movie like this would come out at one point, and we're just not in that world anymore.
The first thing that I personally want to talk and gush about, which is Tom Cruise himself. He is very much so, not the director necessarily, but it's what he wanted every step of the way to happen with this movie.
He's not the director, but he for damn sure can tell the director what to do.
He's in charge.
That's right.
And I think what you're saying doesn't happen without Tom Cruise. And I think this movie doesn't exist without Tom Cruise. The authentic vision doesn't. His insistence to keep it in theaters.
I'll tell you this.
He completely figured that part out and made sure it was what he thought it should be, and it definitely worked.
Like the actors and filmmakers who actually have the clout to make those moves, if they all actually did it, this could be your success, but you're not. You're like playing this, oh, dude, on streaming, half this, half that, and it just becomes content when you do that. You're folding laundry, watching some blockbuster movie on Netflix. It doesn't feel like an event. It's forgettable. And Tom Cruise rolled the dice on like, hey, are people still willing to invest? And holy shit, he had the biggest hit of his career.
Thank you.
This movie genuinely brought people back to theaters. He went back to an old formula that still is alive and kicking when you do it right. He is a passion for making a great experience for audiences, which is ever present throughout this whole movie. He wants this individual. He wants this certain song, this certain look. When they were putting this movie together back in like 2016, before it like really caught steam to get made, Tom Cruise was on some like late night show and Kenny Loggins was there.
And I said, so tell me, is Danger Zone a part of the new Top Gun or not? And he said, it wouldn't be Top Gun without Danger Zone.
I do appreciate the fact that he personally thanked me for coming back to the theater. He looked me in the eye. It felt awesome.
Hope you enjoy. We made it for you.
I went in there so amped up already because I was like, I'm finally going to see this. I'm here. Like, this is great. Like, I'm so excited. And then when he showed up, just going back to the authenticity of what he's trying to do for audiences, he was so genuine in his message. It just felt like he was so super grateful, honestly, for anyone to be there to enjoy this thing. And I remember he put a tweet out too after it broke some God knows what record, not saying anything other than thanks to you. You know, thank you for giving this a chance. Thank you for coming out. Like, I do think he cares about that aspect.
He does.
He
genuinely loves
I love
movies,
that.
and he loves what he does, and you see it.
And it still gives him a chance to take his shirt off and look immortal. I mean, the dude is like still.
He's no Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Wasn't a compliment.
I don't want anyone to get confused when, you know, they hear anyone gushing about this movie, me in particular, because this is still a big, dumb movie. But it's exactly what people need. It's exactly what the theaters need. It was great in that aspect. Tom Cruise driving 100 miles an hour on a motorcycle with no helmet.
I still can have my problems with it being a military commercial. It is. Really, we don't know the enemy? Like, we can't name an enemy?
Right.
Like, you're literally not trying to offend anyone. It's kind of like, wow, this is really commercial. Yeah. But again, the original is really commercial. This isn't nearly as convoluted as the first one was.
No. I think this movie improves upon that in every way. Not only the story, not only the look, but what would you call it? Like the intimacy of the flying aspects. It does really, they try to put you in those shoes a lot more often than in the first one.
The best I've ever seen it look in a movie.
Yeah. I don't think, again, that this is a streaming movie. I barely think it's a physical media movie. I just think it loses something by not being in that arena or that experience. Yeah.
I know probably it's expanded and enhanced so much in a theater, but it works, man. Yeah. It works for a first-time viewing at home. Outside
of, obviously, Tom Cruise and Miles Teller and John Hammond Connolly, who are in it enough, basically all the other new recruit type characters, they're kind of like unknown people. They were just so kind of like whatever. I didn't really care too much about any of them. I was more invested in the people I sort of knew. There wasn't anyone that like stood out that I was like, oh, my new favorite character. It was like, they're just kind of like background.
And while I don't disagree with you about the new cast members and the younger recruits, I will say I think the movie did it very well, though. This isn't The Force Awakens. This isn't like, hey, we're passing the torch. They're there, and relative to the plot, he's their instructor. They don't hog screen time. This is Tom Cruise's story.
True.
The Kilmer scene.
Yeah.
As someone who met Val Kilmer, I'm telling you that is exactly what he's like.
It was touching.
And it was very touching, and it was strange to me to watch because that's exactly what he was like.
And it was done well. Like the way that he appeared, the way, like the influence that he had over the movie.
It was just like, let's get Val in here. Let's have a good emotional acting scene between you two.
Make sure it makes sense. Again, as a result of Tom's sort of gamble here, his $170 million budget grossed $1.485 billion worldwide. Damn. And records include Tom's highest grossing film, largest Memorial Day opening, smallest drop in ticket sales in week 2 for any movie making over 100 million.
Wow.
And Cruise and Paramount's biggest opening in 32 foreign markets.
I just hope Hollywood takes notes and they don't take the wrong notes. I just want to see more movies that don't beat the audience over the head with whatever ideology you're trying to. It's not required in all movies. That's why people responded to this. It was just, it's escapism.
It is.
We don't have movies that are escapism anymore. No. And that's why everyone latched on to this. So Hollywood, take fucking notes.
It's not going to be for everyone. There's probably plenty of people that went and they were like, I don't know what all the hype was about. But it does appeal to a certain mass audience that kind of needed what Tom was delivering.
There is this whole audience out there who are maybe a little older, but like they still fucking watch movies.
Yeah.
And you're ignoring them. Yeah. And they have money. And they're interested. The younger kids aren't as interested in movies.
Yeah.
They have YouTube, TikTok, phones. It's not their culture. Stop trying to appeal to them. If you do this, holy shit, you might actually save movies and make some money in the process.
This movie definitely made money. And I'm actually excited to see how much money it makes in home media, physical media.
I think it's going to do
This is going to be a
big.
huge...
Especially like the holiday season coming up, this is going to be big. Yeah. Like I said, regardless, even if the film you think is terrible, it's just a good...
Yeah, it's a good thing.
I'm happy it exists
definitely.
And what it represents.
Of course, they're not going to fumble Tom Cruise's baby here, and it sounds like, based on reviews that are out there, that they certainly did not. The 4K is bold, sharp, clear detailing. The blacks are deeper, healthier, vivid, Dolby Vision color upgrade, and all that stuff. They're using the IMAX aspect ratios, and they kind of shift as needed. Some films do that. This is definitely the case here. If you are someone that has the access to an Atmos sound, there's all types of sound options, but the Atmos sound, according to the reviews, they state that it defies review, that it is a marvel with excellent sound side to side and top down, and it doesn't get any better than this.
That's right.
So I think you're going to, if you have 4K player and a TV, if you've got the Atmos and you're able to sit down in front of it and watch it, they're going to try to recreate that experience of maybe either being in the movie or being in the theater, so that you do have this larger than life experience. Yeah. And while, yes, seeing it on a huge theater is great, seeing it even on your TV at home in 4K, things are going to come into a little bit more clarity, like in the cockpit or on Tom Cruise's jacket or, whatever it is. You're going to see all these different details kind of pop that you probably
Ed Harris's seething rage.
What is that? What is that? No? What is that? What is it? What is it?
This is a reference disc.
This
was the movie. They knew what they had. This is for the format. We're going to knock this one out of the park and hopefully gain new consumers in doing 100%. So.
And they deserve every penny that they get for this movie, in my opinion.
Shit, after talking about it with you, I might pick this up now.
Again, if you have seen it, you know what we're talking about here. If you haven't, just to reiterate one more time, Tom Cruise made basically a true, thrilling experience for the theater that will hopefully translate just as well to home media. It's a great cinematic escape. Save the theaters in the process. I bought 3 copies myself.